Well, Dad, let's see what your sword can do.
Noctis can now wield Regis' sword in combat. Together with the Ring of Lucis, it affords him a better chance of survival, while his other abilities remain sealed. Oh yeah, I can't warp, can I? Well, at least I can do this. Stabby, stabby. Well, at least that part of the game's over. Hopefully forever. Now I can just fight people. But damn. But damn. Alright. Just power through it, Keith. Just power through it. Soon we'll get to the end game, where that's more like the part that's kind of okay. Soon the story will just be over, I'm sure. How much longer can it last? We have to be on, like, the final stretch if they're blinding Ignis. Like, that is a big message to the player saying that the basic core of this gameplay will never be the same again. Because the whole core experience is, here's your party of characters running around, having adventures together. And Prompto gets lost, and Ignis gets blinded, and Gladiolus seems to hate you, basically. So, that's saying that the status quo is gone now, and you can't have the status quo gone for very long without the game just ending, right? Unless the game's gonna have 10 hours of Noctis wandering hallways. Like, they can't keep this up for another 10 hours, so clearly it has to end.
There's something out there.
It's a safe room. Nothing in here, though. I'm Regis. I'm vaguely menacing, but I mostly don't make sense. Are we doing
Coming from?
Are we doing scarecrow smoke right now? Am I gonna hallucinate? What if I just called that? That'd be actually kind of funny if I immediately called that. Just power through it, it's fine.
There's no way through this.
What? Really? It's smoke, it's not...
No way through this.
It's not lightning or fire, it's smoke.
Well, you can't say I didn't warn you.
The smoke is everywhere. Like, it's not like you're safe from it by going over there, like not being in the jets.
By the second.
Just
Need to stop it.
Just close your mouth for a second. That's all you have to do. If there's a barrier in the way of smoke, you just close your mouth and then you're not breathing it in. Ta-da! Or are you gonna try to play it up like, it's hot smoke and it burns Noctis, he can't handle that. He fought Leviathan. Like, ignoring the, like, obviously there's a part where he was, like, superpowered, but ignoring that part, he still fought Leviathan one-on-one by teleporting around and smashing into him and stabbing it. He fought Titan one-on-one without being in superpowered mode. You're saying he can fight Leviathan, and he can fight Titan, and he can do all this crazy stuff happening to him throughout the game, but he can't walk through a small jet of smoke? That's ridiculous. I've talked about not being able to jump over cliffs before with the warp strike ability, but he can't walk through a non-physical object? Why? And why is this part in the game? And why is it still happening? It's so long. This is miserable, and it just keeps going. Did somebody actually, like, did a developer play this part and be like, yeah, it's great. I'm happy to have this in my game. I'm proud of it even. We should make the players spend 2 hours there. Just for good measure. That'd be extra exciting, right? I've played indie games that were smart enough not to make this kind of mistake. And Square Enix is one of the biggest developers in the world. They have all the resources in the world, and they can hire some of the most proficient developers and the most talented people because they're drowning in money. Because they went from being just a developer to being a full-on, like, publisher and everything, and they own so many properties. They merged with Eidos. There's Squaresoft and their Enix and their Eidos, Montreal, and all those other companies. So, like, they know better. They know what they did. You don't spend years developing a game and not know that it's in this shape.
Oh, it was such a tease.
This is a thing that happens where someone along the line just doesn't care. I'm not saying that your favorite developer on the team doesn't care. He probably likes his job a lot. and he probably really wants this to be great. But somebody that runs some important part of Square Enix don't give a crap about anything. That's the same part. It's like the part of Sonic team. It's like the part of Sega that keeps greenlighting terrible Sonic games and then releasing them in terrible states when everybody could just look at it for a moment and be like, "Oh no, this one's real bad. This one can't go out." Like they have full control over the process, and somebody who has full control over this thing just doesn't care. Somebody that just cares about numbers and annual income and getting a product out during fiscal year 2016 for the right tax revenue or whatever. We gotta get in the black for this quarter, so we're gonna put out a terrible product, and just everyone be damned that was looking forward to it for any period of time. Fans be damned, customers be damned. We gotta hit fiscal 2016. That's what's going on here. I'm not saying that everybody on the team didn't care, because that's not true. A lot of developers are very inspired people that work very hard. But somebody that has control over the process, who is part of the same company technically, don't give a crap. They're just like, rush it out. Fix it. You can fix it later. DLC is all the hotness these days. Hello. Nope. Alright. There's so many minor things that should have not made it past testing. Like, if you defeat the final enemy in a fight, if you're not pressing a joystick direction, the game will enter wait mode. The game enters wait mode at the end of every fight, and I have to press a joystick or a button to move to make the game continue, because it'll sit there and pause. It'll stay there paused forever, unless I press something. But the fight's already over. I already killed the last guy. Like, the game should be aware... Oh, hello. The game should 100% be aware that the last guy ran out of hit points, so the fight's over. But the game's trigger for ending a fight hasn't quite happened yet, so at the end of every single fight I enter wait mode. And that would absolutely come up in testing. But they just didn't do anything about it. And because I guarantee you somebody noticed it, I guarantee you a lot of people noticed it, because it's too obvious of a problem for the combat system it's too obvious not to fix. That the whole reason it's not fixed is because somebody was like, nah, that's a shippable problem. Just leave it, it's fine. We'll fix it later, or not, I don't know. We gotta get this out for fiscal 2016. That's all that matters. No, don't wake up behind me. Just let me leave, please. I'm so close. Alright. I want to point out how boring this is still, by the way. I'm not using the crappy ring and stealth mechanics, so at least it's not actively bad the same way that the last segment was. But I'm not doing anything interesting. RPGs are about decisions and gameplay mechanics and doing things carefully. What is this? Is this a vending machine of Phoenix Downs? It totally is. Might as well stock up on Phoenix Downs. Why not? But RPGs are about tactical decisions and story decisions and decisions of various kinds. That's what makes them different from other types of games, is the decision element of them. And so I should be like switching through a bunch of different pieces of equipment and checking out different spells and figuring out weaknesses of my opponents and targeting those and making decisions and so on. But right now, all I can really do...
Raised to level 4. Access to level 4 zones authorized.
Right now, I could switch to the ring if I want to, so I can like hold down a button for a very long time to eventually kill someone, or I just hit him with my sword a lot and he dies immediately. And I don't have other weapons, so I can't switch. There's no point to scan like Libra to find out what their weakness is. I don't have party members, so I can't give people orders. I can't use any skills. I don't think I even have summons right now. It's really... I'm kind of baffled by the idea that they decided that they'd do this now. Because this feels like the tutorial at the beginning of a game where you don't have any gameplay mechanics yet, and they're just going to teach you how to fight real quick. And even then, it would last like 10 minutes, and then you'd move on to other mechanics immediately because it's so boring. Because this is so unengaging for a player to do, to just hit square a lot. Even Dynasty Warriors has more variety of gameplay than this does right now. You don't even hit square a lot, you hold square. You're supposed to hold square in this game. So I just hold it down until everything dies. There you go. You're dead. Oh, you're not dead. Oh, he just got up immediately and attacked me, apparently. Oh. Nope. Well, that's not good. Like, like I said, at best you could call this a tutorial for the beginning of the game, but it's at the end of the game. Like, the story's hitting its climax, supposedly. Like, Ignis is blind, Lunafreya's dead, the Regalia is dead. The freaking, one of the core selling points of the game, one of the basic ways you got around throughout the entire game, probably the most emotional death of the entire game, honestly. I'm not even joking. The death of the Regalia is probably the most emotional death in the entire game so far, because it's the car you used the entire game, and you got to customize it, and you spent dozens of hours in it, and now it's gone. I think it's gone, presumably.
You really are helpless without your friends babysitting you.
But now that everything's hitting its climax, we're now fighting really boring enemies, goblins and axemen, and I'm doing it by just hitting square a lot, as if I'm playing a tutorial at the beginning of a game. But I'm 60 hours into this game. I'm 60 hours in playing a tutorial for the beginning of the game. How? How did this happen? Let's go this way. Maybe it'll let me get to my destination without any sidetracking. Because I don't want to go down side paths anymore if I don't have to. Just open. Just open. Don't summon something behind me right now. Please. Yay! Yay! Alright. What's terrifying about this kind of segment is that it can happen forever. Hello. What? 4S? Wait while the elevator descends. We're doing that now? Okay. Hello, Half-Life 2. Oblivion is at hand. What? What? It didn't work? Why do I even have... Oh, it did work.
I don't think I want to mess with
No, it didn't work. What? It used up all my MP and it didn't even work. Why do I even have that ability then? Alright, well, screw you, Ring. Wasting my time. Just gonna keep hitting it, I guess. I've got, like, infinite healing items, so there's no tension here. Because that's also a thing in this game. The part where you magically can heal forever. You don't even have to worry about your health, because if your health drains down to 0 and your max health is lost and you actually die, you can still use a Phoenix Down, because the game pauses. So I guess I'm not supposed to fight him? It's just like a final... Oh, yeah. It's like a Final Fantasy Type 0 fight where you're meant to lose. You can't take that guy! Final Fantasy Type 0 was another game where they were so heavy on gimmicks they couldn't get a normal fight out.
Must have gone out. First keys, now power. What next?
The game started throwing fights at me that you weren't supposed to win, you were supposed to run away from.
Noise? Is it scary being on your lonesome?
And since the game was full of fights you were supposed to lose, then I couldn't tell from that point on whether or not a sufficiently epic boss fight was something I was supposed to win or lose against for the rest of the game. Which was agony. Here we go. So yeah, this is recycled content 101 now. They make you play the same hallways over and over again with the ring. Then they have you do it with stealth. Then they have you do it with a sword. Now they're having me do it at nighttime. Well, I mean with the lights off. They're still using the same rooms and the same levels, but now the lights are off, so now it's new content. And they're just gonna pad this out for as long as possible? who's happy to hear that? Congratulations, you've reached the climax of the story. Enjoy padding. What? This is the #1 time not to do padding. I want to compare this to Mass Effect, actually, because I just finished Mass Effect on my channel, the first game. Did you guys see that climax? That had a similar approach where, hey, here, let's break down that vehicle you've used the entire game during the climax. But remember how crazy everything after that was? Mass Effect has one of the best climaxes of any video game ever. Like, the entire last 2 hours of that game is beautiful. Look what I'm doing now, by comparison. I'm probably in the last 2 hours of this game. I'm wandering around the same hallways over and over again, with almost all of my mechanics stripped away, while no story happens. I'm like an hour and a half in now, and the only story that's happened so far is the discovery that Ravix is dead, so I get the sword, which happened off screen. Well, I got the sword on screen, but Ravix died off screen. So the only story that really happened so far in the last hour and a half is something that I didn't get to see. How? Did it die? I think it worked that time. Are you gonna grab me again? No. Because that gets old real fast. I feel like that the people who... I guess the people who like this game are probably the same people who liked Resident Evil 6. A game that had a terrible story and terrible gameplay mechanics. But hey, it was really flashy, because it was worked on by 600 people! I'm serious, Resident Evil 6 had a 600-person development team. So it was real polished, it was real pretty, it ran real nice, it had a really long duration because of how many people they had to work on it. But it wasn't good content. It wasn't like intelligently crafted.
But it's better than nothing.
It wasn't a cohesive product that stands up to scrutiny. It was just a really expensive flash in the pan nightmare. And this is quickly becoming that. It's just an expensive game where the only upside of it is that it's expensive. They spent so much money on it, so it looks like a game that had a lot of money put into it. And sounds like a game that had a lot of money put into it. But it doesn't make sense. It's a baffling game. It's a cynical cash-in game that involves... like, even if the developers weren't cynical, the actual product became cynical, where it's a game with a season pass, and an anime tie-in, and a movie tie-in, and a Cup of Noodles brand deal, and whatever that name of that camping supply company's brand deal, because all your camping supplies are branded, and so it's got a bunch of product placement, and there's a parody Cup of Noodles commercial for Final Fantasy 15, and
the Empire made considerable inroads into the science of demons.
It's a financial product.
Well,
is its
after
primary
I showed
purpose.
them the way, of course. We'd managed to make demons right here.
Make?
They're making demons. Is that why everybody's naked? All these jackets are everywhere because people turned into the goblins? Different combinations of active circuits unlock sets of doors. To proceed, locate the key card for each panel and activate the right combination. Whew. That's one way to add padding.
Your head can do more than wear a crown. Use it.
Okay. I've realized that I've just been ranting for like the last hour and a half. I think the game deserves it. But yeah, some people are gonna be mad at me. The people that got a kick out of the ending of the Leviathan chapter and my response to it are gonna be very happy. And the people that aren't like that are gonna be very mad with me. But in my defense, there's nothing to talk about right now. If I'm just gonna talk about the amazing experience I'm having as a game player right now, I'm just walking down dark hallways over and over again trying to proceed. So talking about the game as a whole is the only reasonable course of action for topic at this point. So I can't use any of these things right now, right? I do? Switch on? Switch off. Okay. So it's already on? Okay, I need B. Okay, so I can't do anything until I get the C or B cards. I love waiting for these doors to open.
Ever wonder where demons come from? Once upon a time, they were children of nature, beasts and men. Oh, and you've killed so many.
Photosensitivity and Magitech troopers. Plasmodia-based biological weapons exhibit an acute aversion to light, their cellular structure breaking down within moments of exposure. As the cells are converted to benign molecules, there is no inherent danger, even should such a reaction occur. Light-proof armor presents a simple yet effective solution to the problem.
What?
Soil ingredients, people? The demons are all humans. They were all humans all along. What a reveal. Well, now I don't want to play the end game, because now I'm murdering people, aren't I? Now you're tarnishing the end game for me, because I'm going to be killing human beings, apparently. Unless they're not fixable, in which case I guess it doesn't matter if I kill them at that point, right? Also, I guess Noct might be surprised by that reveal, but we as players can't be shocked by a JRPG pulling the card of like, the monsters are all humans. Oh no. They were not monsters once and now they're monsters. It's like that's like the enemies of every JRPG. Square Enix themselves have pulled that card multiple times in the past, I think. Like, you can't... It's not new. I just take it for granted at some point that if there's a mysterious demon monster force that they're probably humans or something. Like, oh no, they all lost their sense of hope and then they turned into shadow monsters.
Units you callously dub MTs all began as babes in this very facility. Imprinted with serial codes and incubated until they were strong enough to fight. What a pity. Innocent souls fated to suffer at the hands of a foreign king. Well, not so empty after all, are they?
Nah, that's bullshit. You don't get to blame me for the fact that I'm fighting humans. You're the one that's making them, like, it's your side that's turning them into monsters. You're making weird, creepy biological weapon armies that attack people. I'm just a person being attacked and defending themselves. I can say that part with a lot more confidence. Like, I hunt for monsters, so you can almost feel bad for that part, but the freaking... The army guys, they ambush you constantly and try to murder you in the street. National Defense Policy. With the mass production of Magitech troopers having commenced in earnest, the Imperial Defense Council approves the implementation of the following reforms: the replacement of human infantry with Magitech units, the augmenting of biological materials through cloning. So now we're finally actually establishing something messed up about the Empire. This should have happened like 20 hours ago in the story. Like, you know, before I blew up a city to fight them, so that it felt like it was motivated. Because I didn't feel like I had any motivation to do that. I destroyed an entire city and probably killed countless people who didn't evacuate properly. Because how do you... What city in history has ever been completely evacuated on that scale? I'm pretty sure none of them. That never works. Like that guy like the Walking Dead voice actor, he's probably just dead. It has overload. So one of them has to be switched off. Okay. So just find... So I gotta go that way? So switch you on. Okay. Okay, that won't do it. I'm already in the middle room. God damn it. Also, yeah, how is X jump and interact? Wait, I thought I turned one of them... Oh, I forgot to actually scroll down to off. It's probably A and C, I'd guess. How does jumping and stuff... How does that make it in? The fact that you every time I walk up to something or try to talk to somebody, I jump in the air like an idiot? Like, that shouldn't make it past testing, but it did. somehow. Wait, what camera angle is this facing? That's the three of them? So it's facing the side. So the left side is... Okay, I'm trying to go left, probably. Because that's over there. But it's down on this camera angle, so that threw me off. Like, apparently in the Japanese control scheme... Wait, is that all I needed? No? No, right. What you got? Ah! Apparently in the Japanese control scheme, it's A... Wait, which ones are on and off now? Crap. Let's turn everything off again. So, which one turns on the light next to me? In the Japanese control scheme, X and O work differently. I think zero. I think O is interact or something. It's weird that you can't change that. Like, this game has a really long options menu. Why doesn't that really long options menu feature the ability to remap your controls a little bit so you don't have to awkwardly jump in front of your chocobo 7 times every time you try to get on it? I understand why circle and X are switched. Is that Japanese audiences treat those buttons differently than Western audiences. So when you play a game from Japan, sometimes awkwardly yes is circle and no is X, especially on the PS1 and 2 era, but not having the option, like, matching them to one button isn't a solution. Mass disappearance report. 9 days on from the mysterious disappearances. An area lead. It beggars belief that 812 people, an entire village, could simply vanish into thin air. In more tangible developments of the demons that emerged in the West Grelia at the same juncture, 60% are confirmed escaped from military facilities. Details of the remaining 40%, however, remain inconclusive.
Mysterious disappearances.
I want to point out that this means that this level of their evil wasn't known to the protagonist before, which means that it doesn't act as part of his motivation up until this point. Because now we're just now finding out about this, but it's like the primary reason for us to think that the Empire might be evil is this specifically. Otherwise, they're just warring nations, and you don't know. Maybe our nation sucks. Maybe that's why we're at war. It's hard to say because we don't know what our nation is either. We know nothing about Insomnia at all. Like, I'm 60 hours into this game. I am the king or prince or whatever of Insomnia. I can tell you 0 things about Insomnia besides the fact that Noctis and his dad and his people and his few friends are from there. I don't know a single thing about Insomnia, my home, that this whole game's a conflict about to an extent. West Grelia quarantine report. Including cases around the village, the number of missing now stands at 1,657. Early reports of the MRF attribute the disappearance to an infectious disease. The investigations continue as regards a potential connection to the Daemon outbreak. At the time of writing, the quarantining of West Grelia is complete, and other sectors remain infection-free.
A vanishing sickness. Huh.
That's some convenient nonsense. That's a really, really bad lie that people apparently fell for. Well, maybe you can call it a sickness, actually, if it turns people into demons that vanish. Because these people apparently all became demons, because their clothes are just strewn about everywhere. They're also apparently willing to do that to their own people, unless these... Well, those are enemy uniforms, right? I assume that's them doing it to their own people, unless they've been here for a while. Oh no! Can we just dwell for a second on the fact that this game gave more screen time and character development to Iris than Lunafreya? And who's Iris? Why does Iris matter at all to the story? What did she do ever? Like, we're really far in the game now. What has Iris ever done? Ever? What plot point was she relevant to? She was one of the people that made it to Lestalem? So we had a few conversations with her and went on kind of a date for a second.
Oh, well done, my boy.
Iris has more screen time than almost anybody else in the game besides the main crew. More than the villain.
The most fascinating tidbit about your dear Prompto.
What?
Turns out he's not empty either. He's got quite the skeleton in his closet,
I think Iris actually has more screen time than Arden so far in the game, which is baffling, because she doesn't matter. It's almost as if to taunt me. They finally develop one character, and they're the least important character in the entire narrative. North Goralia Quarantine Report. The infection has since manifested in 5 adjacent sectors and threatens to reach epidemic proportions. Its spread is invariably accompanied by the appearance of demons, and the likelihood cannot be ignored that the pathogens are demon-born. Quarantine has been expanded to encompass all areas in which the creatures are found.
Epidemic proportions. That can't be good.
So I'm guessing that the bad guy that runs the Empire that we've seen on screen for 30 seconds so far probably wants to, I don't know, make everybody into demons to power his demon machine that makes him the super demon. I have to grasp at straws here because we have no idea what the motivation of the main bad guy is that runs the entire Empire, because he's only had 30 seconds of screen time. This is just like Final Fantasy Type 0, where you spend the first, like, 5/6 of the game fighting various empires, like in Avatar, where there's, like, elemental empires that are all fighting each other. It's like you're basically fighting the Fire Kingdom. And then at the end of the game, minor spoilers for Type 0, a character that you had no contact with comes out of nowhere with a super weapon and is now the villain of the entire game, and he's the final boss. And you're like, who's that guy? We've only heard his name like once before, and he never mattered before. Why is he the boss of the game? I think that's what they're doing here, ultimately, unless it's going to be Arden, but even Arden, he doesn't make sense so far. Magitech Research Facility Damage Report. Following their outbreak in the north and west, demons have swept through the MRF, causing extensive damage to equipment. Control was subsequently lost over unprogrammed MTs, and strategies are being deliberated on the collection of rogue units. Meanwhile, 125 infected patients undergoing testing at the facility have vanished in a manner reminiscent to the first disappearances.
All the patients up and disappeared? That makes no sense.
It's 'cause they're all demons, oh my god! So does Noctis not understand? Is he still putting 2 and 2 together? How? Like, the fact that this place is full of enemies and everyone's clothes are gone already implies a whole lot. But, like, Arden already explained to us what's going on. Is the writing being inconsistent? Because Arden straight up said that demons and Magitech troopers used to be people and beasts. They were humans and monsters, and that turned into demons. We've explained that. He said that to us already, so why is Noctis still confused? It might be a case of the voice acting not lining up because the writing's garbage, which has happened before. To point it out in one example, when we were going on our boat ride, at the end of the free roaming section, we were going on our boat ride to Alticia. Iris says, "I guess this is goodbye," as if she's never going to see us again. And then Iris is like immediately in Alticia with us. It wasn't goodbye at all. I think I'm remembering that correctly. I'm pretty sure we saw her in Alticia, and she wasn't on the boat, and she wasn't on the train afterwards, was she? Was she on the train? Where is Iris right now? Either way, I'm pretty sure. We met Talcott and Gentiana and Iris in Alticia, so that whole "I guess this is goodbye" was meaningless. So it was like a random voice acting line that was left in there that didn't fit what was happening in the scene, and it was just as nonsensical. Like, random characters are saying that they were parting ways all the time, but there's often no motivation for us to separate. And then sometimes people say we're separating, and then we don't actually separate, because the voice acting doesn't match the scene. Similarly, I don't see how Noctis is still confused about what's going on in the story, because it's been explained to him. Like, not only do these documents explain what's going on, but the voice actor spilled the beans super early. Like, I could almost see if he was just reading these documents how he might be lagging behind, but it's impossible to read these documents and trigger those voice lines without first hearing Arden explain explicitly that demons and Magitech troopers used to be people. Like, you can't, that's not optional content, it happens mandatory. It happens over the intercom as you enter the area. And the documents are basically playing catch-up. but he's treating the documents like they're revelatory, like they're teaching him new things, but they're not. They're just adding supporting facts to the thing we were given as a reveal. They're not foreshadowing or anything. They're adding context retroactively, not hinting at a future reveal that's going to happen later, which makes it feel like they did it. It makes it feel like they did it wrong. It feels like in a lot of RPGs, you'll go through a zone and you keep finding documents suggesting something, and it'll be all building up to your final reveal at the end of the zone, what's going on. But we're getting all the contextual documents after the reveal, and he's acting like they're still like they're surprising him, but we already got the reveal. So what's going on? 16th, V or 5. The infected aren't disappearing; they're turning into demons. That we failed to see this defies belief. Yet dwelling on it avails us not in the face of the demon threat. Though of human origin, they're unlike the specimens bred for MTs. They cannot be controlled. Oh, no reaction there, Noct? You're not going to act like it's surprising again? '28th, 6th. More than half the keep's inhabitants are now demons. There's no hope of neutralizing them, not with their control lost over the MTs. Outside the city swarms yet more demons, former citizens. There's no escape. So this is the origin of demons then. Is this kingdom? This whole kingdom became demons, and that's where demons came from, I guess? I don't know how that's happening, by the way. Sometimes I just do a flail of attacks, and sometimes he holds up his sword vertically and it glows, and then he goes, "Suffer!" and unleashes like a murder attack that does a ton of damage. As far as I can tell, there's no gameplay mechanics explained for how combat works in this game.
Security clearance raised to level 5.
So you have the ability to swing swords.
5. Zones authorized.
As far as I know, melee has just been explained as hold square or press the dodge button, and that's like all the buttons. But I have like finishing moves and weird charge up attacks. Like when I had the Masamune, I kept doing an attack on accident where he would try to charge up the attack and then like demolish people. And I both couldn't figure out how to initiate the attack or how to stop it, or like how to unleash it once it started charging. Sometimes he would just sit there forever, it seemed. So in a combat-driven game that supposedly has specific mechanics, oftentimes that gets unclear how the mechanics themselves even are supposed to work.
The hell is this place? What are they keeping inside? Not sure what that is, but I got a hunch it's bad. Don't like it one bit.
It's the Magitech making machine. It turns people into Magitech. I better not turn it... Don't do this to me, game. Please. I'm going under that thing. I'm gonna be very disappointed in you, video game, if you do the whole thing where you're like, "You're a Heartless now! Now you're a Heartless, the thing you're fighting the whole game, and you became one of them! Oh no, we have to figure out how to fix you from being a Heartless anymore." I really hope that doesn't happen. Please.
Wasn't expecting that. Things are looking up.
Oh, goodbye, item.
How will this story end, I wonder?
Intruder alert. Mobilizing dormant Magitech infantry.
What the... Wait. Is that what's waiting inside? Even more of them.
Well, your friends. You don't think they ran off without you?
Alright, everybody, group up. I'm gonna do a certain circle attack that kills everybody. I need you all to group right up for me. Ow. No, no, don't use my MP. I'm not trying to, I'm trying to roll, not use my dodge. There we go.
You still haven't found Gladio? Only a matter of time before Ignis bumbles into a trap.
Well, as
you must feel very much alone right now.
It's weird how Arden at this point just sounds like he's masturbating or something. He's like, "Oh, I bet you feel vulnerable right now, don't you? Oh, you little Noctis boy. You're stuck in my dungeon. Aren't you scared? Like, his voice is so, like, breathy and heavy.
Damn it. It doesn't work.
It's such a weird detail. The way he talks all the time.
Data retrieved. Security clearance level.
I figured we wouldn't be able to go that way, but I'd try. Oh, there was a colon in the word level, so there's typos in the subtitles now. Just to add to the list, I guess.
Oh, Noctis. Haven't you found Gladio? You feel so lonely. I'm still screwing with you. Oh, yes, I have so many ways of playing with your mind. You don't even know what I'm doing, 'cause my character's never really been explained. Isn't this mysterious? Don't you feel confused, Noctis? Oh, Noctis. Noctis, where's Prompto, Noctis?
Security clearance raised to level 6.
I'm such an interesting and well-written character.
Zones authorized.
Where's Prompto? Is that Prompto?
Lives ahead of them. Don't take it personally if they choose their own over yours.
Your friends are going to leave you, Noctis. You don't matter, Noctis. You're so unspecial, Noctis.
About your borrowed toys, are you?
Well, maybe he could say 5 more variants of, "You're not actually that strong, are you, Noctis?" Because he keeps saying it over and over again. Ow. Well, this is bad. I guess I'm just gonna hit X a lot instead. Yeah, they'll go down one way or another. Swing, swing, swing. It's okay, if I just hold X, my problems will solve themselves. Hey look, I held X and my problems solved themselves. That's what I get for trying to use the ring at all, instead of just hitting everything until it dies by holding down one button and putting no thought into my gameplay. Oh look, another variant of the same line of dialogue. You're so helpless without your without your babysitters. You're so helpless without your borrowed toys. Not so tough when you're on your own, Noctis. Aren't you lonely, Noctis? Your friends are going to leave you, Noctis. I'm so mysterious, Noctis. I look like Captain Jack Sparrow as a drag queen, Noctis. Look at my spooky hat, Noctis. I spend so much time on my hair, Noctis. Have you seen how much time I spend on my hair, Noctis? My car is old, but it still gets me around, Noctis. I like my car. It's not the Regalia, but it's still a nice car, Noctis. I'm really obsessive over you, Noctis. I can't stop watching you all the time. I watched you sleep earlier when you fell asleep in my facility, Noctis. Why did you go to sleep, Noctis? Don't you want to save your friends, Noctis? But instead you went to sleep. That was a weird thing to do, Noctis. Aren't you gonna fight my shock troopers now, Noctis? Oh, your poor tragic queen, Noctis. Weren't you going to marry her, Noctis? Now you'll never marry her, Noctis. Now she's dead, Noctis. I put my sword in her gut, Noctis. God, he's a terribly written character. He's so awful. Every line of dialogue is just becoming actively irritating. Because it's not revelatory. He never adds anything. He's just saying the same crap over and over again. The stuff he was saying at the beginning of the game. I'm just a stranger. Look how mysterious I am. I'm gonna be vaguely condescending to you at Golden Key. I'm gonna be vaguely condescending to you at Lestalem. Not. Let's just laugh again, yeah. What's amazing is he had to, like, surely the voice actor at some point would have been like, "You're making me record the same line of dialogue a weird amount of times. Surely at some point I should say other things." Maybe he's just like, don't blow it, don't blow it. I got a Final Fantasy contract. I got into a Final Fantasy game. Let's just do whatever they say. This character sounds weird. Whatever. No, it's just power through it. Power through it. Gotta make this contract. Gonna make bank. Everybody's getting paid. A lot of people getting hired, getting paid, making lots of money. That's the important thing.
Not so tough without your borrowed toys, are you?
Okay, now he is just actually repeating himself. You know what? Fuck it. Watch me sleep. Where is it? Where's the right bed? The only one that counts. Wait, where is it? Oh, over here. Here, watch me sleep. I'm a sleepy Noctis. I'm only level 3 fishing, Noctis.
Noctis, did you know that you snore? Noctis. 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 You said someone's name in your sleep, Noctis. Do you know who it was, Noctis? Who do you think about when you dream, Noctis? Noctis, Noctis. I put whipped cream on your hand, Noctis, and I tickled your nose, Noctis. There's whipped cream all over your face, Noctis. Oh, what are you going to do with all the whipped cream on your face, Noctis? There's no sinks in this entire castle, Noctis. I guess you're just going to have to deal with it, Noctis. Oh, no. You don't look so tough with all that borrowed cream all over your face, Noctis. When do I get to kill this guy? I will seriously, like, walk into a room with this guy and set off a nuclear warhead and just take us both out. I don't even care. Wall breaker wave test report. The wave produced exceptional results in real-world conditions, effectively inhibiting the Kingslave warping and spellcasting abilities, powers that operate on the self-same principle of the wall as the Wall of Lucis.